Welcome, high school football fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for our Week 7 Central Indiana High School Football Scoreboard show. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, here with Michelle Garmon. Go through all the scores in Central Indiana and the best games from around the state. Michelle was at Tipton's 49-7 win over Lafayette Central Catholic. Michelle, welcome.
Thank you, Greg. Always a pleasure to be here. I enjoy the Friday nights of wrapping it up. It was a great night for the Blue Devils. It celebrated senior night. This was their third and final home game of the regular season, and possibly could have been the last time on the field for the Blue Devils seniors. But it was a great night. Tipton began it with a pick six scoring, and then they just rolled from there.
We will hear more about that game coming up on part 2 of our scoreboard, and Michelle and I will be joined by some other members of the media to talk about the games of the night, and in particular the game of the night, which will be the focus. And that was in the CIC. It was Class 2A, number 5 Eastbrook, 31-26 over Class A, number 7 Madison Grant, an absolute thriller. Great game. Eastbrook is now 7-0. So is Mississinewa, which beat Elwood 48-0. Eastbrook and Mississinewa will play next week, Michelle.
That should be a doozy of a game. Madison Grant kind of hung, and then Eastbrook kind of opened up a little bit of a lead, and then back came Madison Grant. What an exciting game. Mississinewa did, I think, what we expected them to do.
I watched a big part of that game with Grant Shouse and Kevin Helfrich on YouTube, and Elwood is without question a level better than they've been the last couple of years.
Yes, I will agree with that.
They actually have some size and some speed, and he's got some things going there.
Bringing Kyle Richards in on staff at Elwood, I think, has been good. The Panthers too, not brought in somebody from an outside school to bring in some new things.
Alexandria beat Frankton 40-0. Alexandria 5-2. Frankton now 0-7. And Blackford is 0-7 after a 54-6 loss to Oak Hill. The Golden Eagles had 390 yards of offense. Jesse Worm scored 3 touchdowns, and Dylan Archer 2 for Oak Hill. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, in the Hoosier Conference Small School Division, it was Tipton 49, Central Catholic 0, and Tipton clinches at least a share of the Hoosier Conference Small School Division.
One game remaining. That's the Week 9 at Benton Central. So it's kind of nice for the Blue Devils. A good win for them tonight, especially because they have the Hammer game at Hamilton Heights next Friday.
And we will hear from Hamilton Heights coming up here in just a second. Speaking of Benton Central, they are still winless after losing 51-0 to the Rensselaer Central Bombers, who are now 5-2. And it was a big night in the big school division in the Hoosier Conference. Logansport 44, West Lafayette 43 in overtime. Logansport's now 6-1, 2-1 in the conference. West Lafayette fumbled at the 2-yard line on a potential game-winning 2-point conversion. Logansport can win a share of the big school division with a win at Western next Friday.
I was actually kind of surprised by that score. It sounds like West Lafayette really came to play. I'm starting to question Logansport's defense a little. I'm wondering if they've lost an injured player or something, or if teams have just kind of figured him out. But they seem to have given up
something, because they were shutting everybody down early in the year.
That I know. That's what Coach Tolle said tonight. He said he really thought that Logansport was the team to beat in that larger division, and he said he's not so sure now.
Hamilton Heights defeated Twin Lakes 25-17. Back-to-back big wins for Hamilton Heights over and Twin Lakes. The Huskies host Tipton next Friday.
Heights, they got a big pick six in that game, and so a lot of times
that defense is good.
That defense is good, and that's those turnovers, especially when you produce points with your defense scores, those are always big momentum builders.
And Hamilton Heights can win a share of the conference championship, at least a share, with a win at West Lafayette in Week 9. And I don't think anybody's going to be stunned that Tippecanoe Valley beat Western tonight, but 38-7, that's stunning. Both teams are now 5-2.
That's stunning to me.
I think that Tippecanoe Valley defense is really good. In the Hoosier Crossroads, the defending state champion Bulldogs are now 7-0, and they will likely win a share of the HCC title next week at Noblesville.
You know what's surprising, though, I thought in that game was that I believe Zionsville led 3-0 at the end of the first quarter.
They led Westfield 3-0 at halftime earlier in the year, so they play well in the first half. That might come back to help them later on in the season.
It might.
And a thriller in the conference. Fishers 36, Franklin Central 35 in overtime. Fishers, ranked number 8, is now 5-2. So is Franklin Central. Gage Sturgill for the Tigers, 25 of 39 for 347 yards and 4 touchdowns, including the game-tying touchdown with 12.7 seconds left. And then he ran for the game-winning 2-point conversion in overtime. Vincent Rossi, man, if it wasn't for Brandon Sharp at Brownsburg, he might be the best receiver in the state. 16 receptions, 258 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Wow. Those are impressive numbers.
And in the game of the night in the Hoosier Crossroads, it was Westfield 38-21 over Avon. Westfield's now 5-2. They are still in the conference race. They'll need help from Noblesville or Hamilton Southeastern to beat Brownsburg in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't hold my breath, but Hamilton Southeastern did improve to 4-3 tonight with a 31-6 win over Noblesville.
That game may have had one of the most unique plays. I retweeted a video. I don't know if you saw it on X, where the ball bounced off the helmet.
I did.
Yes, in that a unique way to get a reception and a score.
And in an amazing game in the MIC, it was Lawrence North 63, Warren Central 48. Warren Central led this game 28-7. It was a wild one. Warren Central led most of the way, and then Zay Moore and the Wildcats poured it on in the fourth quarter. Lawrence North only needs to beat Pike, and I say only needs to. Pike is actually pretty good this year in Week 9 to win the MIC.
That was a basketball-type score there, Greg.
Second half was unreal. Kyle Nedenrip tweeted that he's been to a lot of great games in his life, and this one was up there.
It definitely sounds like it.
Third-ranked Carmel beat Ben Davis 42-0. Carmel 6-1. Ben Davis 1-6. The Greyhounds host Warren Central next Friday, and what should be a good one.
It should be a really good one. Anthony Colner, I know, had a good night for the Greyhounds, their senior quarterback that's headed to Detroit next year.
Yeah, he's had a great night pretty much every week this season.
He's definitely playing his best in his last year of high school, which is great. I think him being injury-free has been a key for them.
Lawrence Central beat North Central 49-14, and Pike beat Garin Catholic 41-21. Pike is now 2-5. Garin 3-4. Couple of local independents in a big game tonight. 5A number 3 Cathedral beat 6A number 2 Center Grove 21-15. Both teams are now 5-2.
That really shocked me because I thought Center Grove was really impressive. I thought they were just a notch better than what Cathedral was this year. But, you know, history says that it doesn't matter, that those two teams, usually when they square off, it's going to be a dogfight.
Class 2A number 3 Lapel remains unbeaten. The 35-7 win over number 12 Heritage Christian. Devin Craig 4 touchdown passes. He went over 9,000 career passing yards tonight.
Like we said pretty much all year, in our area, he is the best quarterback. And when I say our area, I'm talking Madison, Tipton, Howard County, Grant County. So
the center of our coverage area.
Yes.
Shenandoah, man, what a game this one was. Shenandoah is 5-2 after handing Northeastern its first loss of the season, 50-43. Down 43-42, Jarrett Hellman scored from 1 yard out with 6 seconds left to give the Raiders the win.
Another basketball type score and back and forth game, more what you'll see in a couple months, but another exciting game for the fans.
And an even higher scoring game, Michelle. West Dell beat Park Tudor 58-50 in overtime. West Dell's now 3-3. Park Tudor's 4-3 after starting the season 4-0.
Yeah. Wow. A lot of high scores tonight, Greg. A lot of high scores.
A lot of high scores tonight. Eastern Hancock's now 4-3 after beating Milan 40-7. Third straight win for the Royals. In the Hoosier Heritage Conference, New Pal goes to 7-0, 5-0 in the conference. The top-ranked Dragons only need to beat 2-5 Newcastle or 3-4 Delta to win the Hoosier Heritage Conference again.
We know they're going to beat both of them. So, and who knows? They're going to. Yes, they should roll right at least all the way to the semi-state, I would think.
Yes. Class 4A number 9 Pendleton Heights beat Delta 49-6 to improve to 6-1 overall, 4-1 in the conference. 6-1 equals their best start since 2002. And Yorktown defeated Greenfield Central 35-0. The 4A number 11 Tigers are also 6-1 overall, 4-1 in the conference. And Yorktown and Pendleton Heights face each other next Friday for second place in the conference.
That should be a heck of a game.
And Newcastle beat Mount Vernon tonight 57-28. Mount Vernon now 0-7.
Greg, you and I, we took it on the chin on that pick. I just can't believe that Mount Vernon is this bad. But yeah. Kudos to Newcastle.
So it happens every once in a while to really good programs, and it's definitely happening to the Marauders. They still have a really cool game.
Yes, they do.
In the North Central Conference, Class 5A number 4, Lafayette Jeff defeated Kokomo 49-16. Jeff now 6-1 overall, 3-0 in the North Central. Tristan Barrett was 24 for 29, 306 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Bruce Vonestron, 9 catches, 142 yards and 2 scores. Jeff has Marion at home next week. And Muncie Central also goes to 3-0 in the North Central Conference with a 42-7 win over Anderson. The Indians now 1-6. Central has Kokomo next week before the Bearcats and Broncos play each other in Week 9 for the North Central Conference. Even if one of them loses next week, they could still win the share of the conference the next week. So both are set up to win the NCC.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be Lafayette Jeff.
I think it is too, but I wouldn't count out Kyle Burrish.
I just think that Jeff has probably just some better players at this point in time.
They definitely do. And they will be a huge favorite in that game. In the Hoosier Heartland, Sheridan is now 5-1 overall, 4-0 in the conference after a 45-6 win over Delphi. Sheridan is at Eastern next week, then hosts Carroll in Week 9.
The Blackhawks are putting things together and getting better every week, which is what you want from your football team at this point of the season and at this time of year, so you can roll into the tournament. However, they're really going to end their season with 2 really tough tests with Eastern and Carroll, and those should be very interesting games to end the season, regular season, I should say.
And Carroll went to 4-2 overall, 3-1 in the conference with a 49-8 win over Clinton Central. They're at Clinton Prairie and then close at Sheridan. Taylor goes to 5-2 overall with a 40-8 win over Clinton Prairie. Javion Harris, 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, and an interception return for a touchdown.
Yeah, big night for him when you have a kid like Harris, and I just knew he'd be the best athlete on the field and had the potential to have a big game tonight. So, and he did.
And Eastern defeated Phelan Academy 67-0 to improve to 6-1. Phelan Academy, it was 47-0 midway through the second quarter, as we suspected.
This was more like a scrimmage type situation for Eastern. They had to fill in the game because of Tri-Central's situation, and but it gave them an opportunity to play somebody other than having a bye. So you keep your team in rhythm and going. So hopefully they came through unscathed injury-wise so that they're 100% healthy, because they have that big test next week against Sheridan.
On the Three Rivers Conference, Class 3A number 6 Mechaniquah goes to 7-0 overall and 7-0 in the conference with a 21-13 win over Cass. The Braves have Manchester next week, then they're at Rochester in week 9 for the Three Rivers Conference Championship. 2A number 13 Rochester beat Northfield 51-14 to go to 6-0 in the conference, 6-1 overall. Rochester has a tough one next week at Northwestern before the big one against Mechaniquah. Northwestern won it for the 4th time in its last 5 games with a 48-23 win over Wabash. They're now 4-3 overall, 4-2 in the conference. And Manchester's 5-2, 5-1 in the Three Rivers after a 42-0 win over Whitco. The Squires' 3rd straight win. And Southwood defeated Peru 20-14.
Mechaniquah and Rochester set themselves up for a really good winner take all in 2 weeks. I think Northwestern can maybe push Rochester some, but I believe Rochester will win that game and then play Mechaniquah. For tonight, it was great for Mechaniquah because it sounds like their defense was a little bit improved over the recent games here.
In the Monon Conference, Cascade improved to 7-0 overall, 5-0 in the conference with a 98-7 win over Greencastle. You know, Greencastle's 3-4. They won a sectional last year. Not like they're some kind of chump. 77-0 at halftime, 98-7 at the end of the 3rd.
Wow, it makes you wonder now with the mercy rule how you can jump from 77 and you can score 21 points on a running clock in the 3rd quarter. Man.
Crazy.
It is.
Crazy. Although we know that Greencastle team, the defense has struggled all year. They gave up 36 points in the first quarter of the season. But they have won 3 games. Southmont is also 7-0, 5-0 in the conference after a 26-23 win over Western Boone, the Stars' first loss in conference play. They're 4-3 overall. Southmont at Cascade next week.
Interesting game. That Southmont Western Boone game was another kind of back and forth game. Very exciting and very close.
That Western Boone team's playing really well.
They are.
And also in the Monon, North Putnam 57, Frankfort 12, and Crawfordsville 39, North Montgomery 28. In the Sagamore, Lebanon won its 6th straight game and clinched at least a share of the Sagamore Conference Championship with a thrilling 38-35 win over rival Danville. Lebanon's first win at Danville since 2015. The Tigers will host Harrison in week 9 with a chance to win the Sagamore outright. Also, Class 4A number 1 Chittard defeated Harrison 40-22. And Terre Haute South beat McCutcheon 34-7. Also in the Circle City Conference, Cincinnati LaSalle defeated 4A number 6 Roncalli 21-13. And Brebeuf got its first win of the year, 42-7 over Tech. All right, Michelle, quickly around the state, some scores. In Class 6A, number 3, Crown Point, 42-7 over LaPorte. Number 5, Penn beat Elkhart 37-12. Number 10, Decatur Central, 69-7 over Greenwood. Decatur Central's playing really well. And number 12, Fort Wayne Northrop, 35-14 over Snyder. It snapped a 28-game losing streak to Snyder for the Bruins. Northrop's last win over Snyder came in 1999 when I worked for the Fort Wayne News Sentinel, by the way. Also, the last time the Bruins won the SAC. And it's a big one next Friday for Northrop at home against Carroll for the conference championship. And it was Snyder's final home game, at least in the regular season, at legendary Spoller Stadium.
For Northrop, I bet they are
Class 5A,
celebrating.
Well, I have lost Michelle momentarily, but that doesn't mean I can't go through some scores. In Class 5A, number 2, Bloomington South beat Columbus North 55-24. Man, they are good. Conference Indiana championship for the Panthers. Number 5, East Central beat Connorsville 63-0. Number 6, Plainfield over Franklin 30-6. It was Merrillville 48. It was number 7, Merrillville 48-21 over Valparaiso. Number 8, Concord beat Goshen 42-0. And Floyd Central won the Hoosier Hills Conference with a 41-22 win over Bedford North Lawrence. In 4A, it was number 2, East Noble 41-10 over Columbia City. Riley Biddle 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns for East Noble. Mishawaka defeated Class 4A, number 3, Mishawaka defeated 5A, number 12, Warsaw 42-21. In the game, 426 yards rushing, 0 yards passing. Number 4, Heritage Hills defeated Mount Vernon 69-7. Jet Goldsberry 5 touchdown passes on 9 attempts, and he also had 2 rushing touchdowns. That guy's going to be in the NFL one day. Number 5, Leo defeated Huntington North 35-28. Number 7, South Bend St. Joe 21-6 over Riley. And number 8, Jasper defeated 5A number 9 Castle 28-7. Man, what a season for Jasper. And number 10, Dwenger defeated 3A number 15 Lures 27-7. In Class 3A, number 1, Evansville Memorial defeated number 10 Evansville Wrights 28-7. Number 2, Gibson Southern beat Washington 56-0. Number 5, Knox 56, Gemtown 13. Miles McLaughlin from the Clan McLaughlin had 4 touchdowns and 4 two-point conversions, and also had an interception in the first half for the Redskins. I like the McLaughlins.
I can tell. I think there's a reason, right?
There's a very good reason. Number 7, Lawrenceburg defeated Rushville 63-0. Number 8, Tri-West 42-6 over Monrovia. Number 9, West Noble defeated Lakeland 34-7, and our guy Super Sam Frick was at that game. In Class 2A, number 1, Adams Central 48-7 over Southern Wells. Number 2, Brownstown Central 63-7 over Winless Madison. Number 4, Andrean defeated Angola 35-7. Number 6, Triton Central 17-14 over 3A number 11 Indian Creek. That one was a thriller too. Number 7, Lutheran 65-16 over Greenwood Christian. Number 8, Bluffton 35-0 over Heritage. Axton Best 3 passing touchdowns and 45 yards rushing for the Tigers. Number 9, Linton 54-7 over North Knox. Indiana State recruit Paul Oliver had 2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown for the Miners. And number 15, Winchester 42-14 over Hagerstown.
I think Bluffton Adams Central game somewhere in the tournament could be a really exciting game.
That could be a good one. I got to tell you, Michelle, I really hope Brownstown Central can win a state championship. Reed May so deserves one.
Well, I know you said that last year too, so I trust you, Greg. If that guy deserves one, then go Brownstown Central.
And in Class A, It was Northview 48-33 over number 1 South Putnam. Colton Bath had 255 yards rushing and 4 passing touchdowns for Northview. Number 2 Springs Valley beat Tecumseh 31-0. I think Springs Valley is going to be number 1. That's, of course, Larry Bird High.
Yep.
Number 3 North Decatur beat Eastern Green 59-14. Number 4 North Judson beat Winnemac 56-14. Number 4 Providence 51-7 over Cecina. Yes, North Judson and Providence are both number 4. Number 6 Frontier beat Tri-County 62-8. Number 8 Riverton Park 59-6 over Attica. Riverton Park is 7-0 for the first time in school history. Sawyer Monick 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns for the Panthers. Number 9 Pioneer 35-0 over Culver. And number 10 North Davies 52-6 over Mitchell. Number 12 South Adams beat Jay County 42-16. Titus Lehman had 200 passing yards and 3 touchdowns and 96 rushing yards and another touchdown for the Starfires. And number 13 North Miami 53, South Central 6. And that's part 1 of the scoreboard, Michelle.
Hey, nice rundown, Greg. Even when you're even when you have a tickle in your throat.
And I definitely have a tickle in my throat. Thank you so much to Michelle, and thank you for joining us. Don't forget part 2 of the scoreboard show will be out a little later on Saturday, probably late afternoon, early evening. Also on Saturday, we'll have our fight report with Hanson Crafton, preview of UFC 320, our reaction to the Purdue-Illinois game. And on Sunday, we will react to the Colts-Raiders. Also, most nights of the Major League Baseball playoffs, we will have our reaction podcast like we do with every sport. And we're going to start ramping up our Pacers coverage beginning this week. We're also going to have our staff and local media make our NBA predictions very soon. Cannot wait for this Pacers season. We have so much stuff. IU, Purdue, IndyCar, Pacers, Fever, Colts, high school football, high school basketball, and we're planning on adding some more pretty soon, so go subscribe, please. We are at Amazon, Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you're not following us at all of those, please go do it. Appreciate it. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.